What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, once again, we are doing F1 2017 gameplay, but now we have the full version of the game. So, fully fleshed out, we can do anything we want on in terms of content on YouTube now. So, today I'm going to straight up do a night race in Monaco. This has never been possible in an F1 game before, apart from like Project Cars, but this is an official F1 game. This is an F1 channel, so it only makes sense that we go around Monaco at night around my favorite circuit on the F1 calendar. So if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe to see plenty more F1 2017 videos. And without further ado, let's get into Monaco at night.
So as we look ahead to what I hope will be a very entertaining race, I have to ask Anthony Davidson what you expect to see in terms of strategy today. I mean, do you expect a lot of tyre management? A lot of fuel management?
Well, don't we always? I don't expect these are going to be any more important than usual, if I'm honest. But what I do expect, however, are a lot of drivers getting into the pits early for some kind of undercut on fresh rubber. If you can pit before the person in front, have a good stop and drive a blistering outlap, there may be 1 or 2 seconds to be gained. If anyone gets stuck behind another car, for example, that will be the go-to strategy, surely.
No heroics into Sandoval, please. We're in amongst the pack and just need to stay in one piece.
Thanks for that, Jeffrey. I'm pretty sure I won't be going all guns blazing into turn 1, considering we are starting from last place on the grid in the Monaco Grand Prix. 50% race. Race strategy, as you come to expect, it's a one-stop. So in terms of strategy, we don't have too much flexibility. But what I am going to do is play around with the fuel, lighten the load by an absolute mile, and see if that can give us some kind of, I don't know, pace advantage, and see if that can make us lighter on the straights, you know, make us faster in a straight line, sorry, and see if that can promote overtaking anyway. Monaco isn't really a high tyre wear for rear tyres a little bit, but in terms of fuel consumption, it's never really high. You always end up at the end of the race with a lot of fuel on board. So I thought let's underfuel the car by a bit and see how that goes. But on the formation lap here, we're just cycling through all the different camera angles in case you haven't seen them already. My personal favorite, and I think for a lot of you guys as well, is the T-cam. And for those wondering, I can race in cockpit cam. I just prefer not to, because T-cam is better to look at. But if you listen now on the onboard, you can actually hear the turbo whistle going on the formation lap here. So just have a listen. That was really cool. I only just discovered that while driving around, just, you know, revving the car here and there over the course of the lap. And here we go, ready for the start of the Monaco Grand Prix. This is going to be quite insane. Ready for the 5 red lights to get out underway, and we go here in Monaco. Starting on the ultra soft tyres, we get a better start versus those around us, but coming into turn 1, we get squeezed ever so slightly into the wall, and no, we're still fine to carry on. The Sauber's getting involved with Sergio Perez there. Yellow flags are out as we get a touch up from Wehrlein there, and I think we actually rubbed the wall there, but thankfully we don't have any front wing damage. But there we go, we have a virtual safety car here, and I'm guessing that is for the debris that was left at the apex of turn 1 there. So yeah, just taking a breather now. Everyone has to slow down to a delta time because the marshals are out clearing all the debris. No, there are, before you ask, marshals don't actually appear on the circuit, but they're virtually clearing them away, clearing the debris away. Because if you don't know, if you run over debris on F1 2017, you actually get tyre punctures now. So that's something you really need to be wary of. But virtual safety car is ending now, and we get back up to racing speed again. The Sauber pulls into the pit lane because he has only half a front wing on his car. So that promotes us up into 18th place as someone else pits. Not too sure who did that, but either way, that's a free couple of positions for us. The debris hasn't even been cleared. What are the marshals doing? I don't know. Either way, we'll see if we can make our way through the field now. Sergio Perez is up next. He's getting held up by Stoffel Van Dorn in the McLaren Honda. Even at Monaco, their lack of straight line speed is so apparent. They're going up the hill. They just like lose so much time. It's ridiculous. I think Van Dorn was smoking then. Don't think it was an engine failure because he's fine now. We got the inside of Sergio Perez. As, yeah, that didn't really work out for us, and he gets the spot back on us. So much happening in this video. I'm trying my best to keep up with it, but I apologize. There's just so much going on right now, it's near impossible to keep up. But lap 2, trying to grind away on Sergio Perez. You can just see how much more wider the cars are now, and just makes overtaking at this track so much more difficult. It was near impossible for the AI in the past, but now even for the player, it's getting to the point where overtaking is near impossible. We go around the outside of Sergio there, but that was only created because he was slowing down to go into the pits anyway. But 17th place. Next up is Van Dorn. We know how slow he is in a straight line, so I think our best bet is to overtake him going up the hill on the run up to turn 2. Actually, no, we got the inside into Raskas. Don't mind if I do. Van Dorn recognises we're faster and leaves us the space as soon as we go up the inside. Nice move, P16. Here's a replay of the overtake. We just get a really nice run through the final chicane and then up the inside into Raskas. Van Dorn has no choice but to let us go, and that is another position for the taking. Who says you can't overtake in Monaco? I know, it's crazy. But either way, P15 is on the cards here. No, not quite. Had to just back off there on Ericsson going into Mirabeau. The 2017 cars, it is... they're just that ever so much slightly wider than the 2016 counterparts. And to go with that as well, the slipstream effect is not really existent on this game as well. So overtaking is just that much harder on this game. But we're going to try it anyway. Around the outside into the lows. No, the Nobel chicane. Round the outside. And that is P15. That felt incredible. Round the outside. I was not thinking that was going to work out there. I thought I was going to cut the corner. We got a squeeze there from the Sauber driver. And we just squeezed through. Just in the nick of time. And I think Ericsson hit the wall there on the inside there. Unintentionally. I think he just turned in a little bit too early. You can see around the outside for us, cleared him, and that was job done. Yeah, I think Ericsson just turned into the corner without knowing that the barrier was there, but that's a position for us, P15. Next up is Fernando Alonso. I feel quite at ease when I see the McLaren Honda is up next, especially even at Monaco, because I know how slow they are in a straight line, so we know how easy it is to perfect an overtake, and Alonso goes very slowly. I was told by the engineer just after the overtake on Ericsson that Alonso had an issue that was slowing him down, and I'm guessing he pulled into the pits to rectify that. So we carry on, and this is the next group of cars that we're trying to catch. The guy at the back is Carlos Sainz, and this kind of group extends all the way into the points. I'm thinking like 7th, 8th place. So we're just going to close the gap as much as we can while saving fuel. I've noticed so far in these early laps that we're not really saving fuel as quickly as what I'd like. The back end of 2016, especially with the career mode, we were recovering fuel so quickly. And 2017 doesn't seem like it's really working out that well. I'd imagine when we upgrade the fuel efficiency in career mode, that'll be recovered a lot better. But in terms of just the base Ferrari without any upgrades, it seems to be a real struggle at the moment. So too does finding a way around Carlos Sainz, by the way. We've tried every avenue, up the inside into the lows hairpin. Nothing. It's not really working at the moment. We put it up into rich revs to see if we can go up the inside into turn 1. Sainz leaves the space, and it's side by side up the hill, and it looks like we might get him there. He kind of swerved into our path there, but I think we cleared him. So that's P13. We had to work really hard to get that position. But yeah, next up is Grosjean in the Haas. All these guys on super soft tyres, so there is a little bit of pace difference between us and them, especially given that they're on the slower tyre. And we're in a Ferrari as well, so even though we're that much quicker than these guys, it's still very hard to make the overtake work. Like I said, 2017, you really have to work hard to make an overtake on this game. I think Arif said it as well. As we go up the inside into Raskas, job done, that's P12. But yeah, like I was saying, the reason why it's so much harder is because the slipstream isn't as pronounced as what it normally is. And I think the AI are a little bit faster in this game. At least that's what it seems like at the moment as well. And they're not really slouches when it comes to racecraft or anything like that. I feel like in this race already we've seen a lot more aggression from the AI. So making moves is incredibly tough. And you basically have to nail a corner, nail an exit, and chuck it up into rich revs in order to make a pass. And that's even in this Ferrari. It's going to be very tough in the McLaren Honda. But either way, we're going to go for a move on Daniel Kvyat here if we can. No, the space didn't really emerge into Raskas. That seems to be the place to get the moves done is Raskas and also the braking zone into the Nouvelle chicane. Maybe turn 1 as well if we can get up the inside of Kvyat. He leaves the space and there we go up the inside. It's still not done yet though, as Kvyat got a really nice exit off of turn 1 and up the hill. Even in a Toro Rosso, he's still very comparable in a straight line. We chuck it up in a rich and go up the inside, and that is that move done inside the points on lap 16 of this Monaco Grand Prix.
Virtual safety car deployed. Slow down and maintain a positive delta. Virtual safety car is deployed.
So I wonder what that virtual safety car was triggered for. Maybe more debris? Yes it is. There we go, at the Nouvelle chicane. Bloody debris everywhere there. And since the virtual safety car was out, I thought I'd notify the team that we were going to come into the pits and change the tyres, but unfortunately the VSC ended, and I tried to take advantage of the VSC ending, and I got a drive-through penalty, which I had to readdress and do a flashback for, because you can't get away with that this year. You have to be green in the Delta right as the VSC ends. So if you're taking the mick in terms of pushing the limits after the VSC ends, then you're going to get a drive-through this year. So that's actually really cool, and I didn't know about that. So just before you guys attempt that online, don't do that anymore, because you're not going to get away with it. But either way, lap 18, a lot of the runners on the ultra soft tyres have made their stops now, and I've got a lot of clear air. So I thought, let's make the most of this. Let's just try and push as much as we can while we've got clear air, we've got a fast car, and still the tyres don't feel that bad. So I thought, wait a second, why am I going to come into the pits and potentially rejoin in traffic? Let's push for one more lap. Okay, thank you. We're going to push for one more lap and just see if we can eke even more time, even more performance out of this Ferrari, and see what we can do. Here's an onboard lap of Monaco on our way into the pits.
Release.
So pit stop went pretty well. 2.7 seconds I think it was, and Nico Hulkenberg is out of the Grand Prix for some reason. That's not too bad when you consider 2017 pit stops are a little bit slower than what they were last year. That was a really bad moment there, exiting the pit lane. That's really awkward, because the game just let me go really at the most awkward of time. I was straight lining into the wall, and I had to really correct that right at the last second. And thankfully we managed to get away with that. We got an achievement as well on Xbox for performing a perfect pit stop. I thought it was a really good release as well. I think we timed that really well, and we actually got an achievement for it. So yeah, I'll take that. So yeah, that's confirmation as well that this is Xbox One gameplay. This is my first race on the Xbox as well, and I can tell you, I immediately felt a lot more confident, a lot faster than what I was on PC. I don't know why that is. The game is quite similar both on PC and Xbox, but I just feel much more comfortable on this platform. And I still don't even know if I'm going to do a career mode on Xbox or PC yet. And this is the day before the career mode went out.
We have 10 laps of fuel remaining. We're really low on fuel. We have a very real risk of not finishing the race if we don't try to compensate.
Okay, so the fuel situation as well is becoming quite an issue. Still 3.5 laps negative on fuel. And that's going to take us to about lap 35, lap 36 on the current numbers. So we really need to do some fuel conserving now. I know we still have a lot of pace. We have fresh tyres. But from here on in, we basically got to run lean revs for the rest of this race. I really underestimated how this Ferrari was going to recover fuel. I thought, you know, it wasn't going to be an issue around Monaco. Like, you never really burn through fuel that quickly. So I thought 6 laps would be fine. But I think you don't want to run any more than 4 laps down on fuel in terms of just saving weight on the car. So that's definitely something I've underestimated, and I just thought I'd test it anyway, because this is only a gameplay video. It's not a league race, it's not a career mode race. We now know the limits of what a 50% race can do in terms of fuel consumption and how much you can recover back over the course of the Grand Prix. But we're still going to have our hands full in terms of recovering this fuel. Stroll! What was that? We got the inside. He showed the nose and he just left the door open. Now, that's definitely an issue that needs to be resolved. There's still that little bit of hesitation with the AI, where if you go for a dive bomb, they just open the door for you sometimes. And I want to point this out early because I want this to be fixed while the devs are still working on 2017 and putting out updates and stuff. The AI shouldn't be doing that. They really should be putting out more of a fight there. So hopefully that can be fixed and rectified. It was still an issue that was, present in the previous F1 games, and if we can just iron out that thing where they just leave you the position, then that would make the AI a lot better. But anyway, apart from that, the AI are really good this year, it must be said. But we carry on to 32, corner cut there, and we almost paid the ultimate price, as we're really trying to push on here while trying to save fuel. And here we go, through the final chicane. I took in way too much speed, and I almost paid the ultimate price here. Right rear tyre into the wall, and thankfully no damage was conceded. I am running on simulation damage as well, by the way, and we seem to have gotten away with a few knocks over the course of the race. Only very slightly ones with a barrier or on the back of another car, but we really are pushing our luck so far in this race. But next up we have Lewis Hamilton in P7. He's actually made his second stop of the race, so he's opted, or his team have opted for the 2-stop, but they've got caught up in traffic. And I mean, even for the player, it's impossible just about to overtake around this track, let alone for the AI. As soon as they get stuck behind a car, I don't really expect the AI to pull overtakes at this circuit unless they're really alongside coming into a braking zone. So no wonder that Lewis is getting stuck behind slower cars at this stage. He's caught behind a Haas, I believe, and one of the Red Bulls. I'll need to confirm that. Yes, it is. It's Magnussen. So, he really can't do anything at this stage. He is fast in a straight line. He's got fresh tyres. He'll have really good traction and get really good exits off of corners. But, there's not much straights between corners around this track. So, it doesn't really help the overtaking prowess of the AI. But we're now in the train, and we could go for a move up the inside. We actually do there on lap 37. Lewis goes around the outside. He's actually brushed the wall there. I wonder if he's got damage. We actually touch him as well. And somehow, again, we don't have any front wing damage. So I'm just really getting away with this by the skin of my teeth in terms of the front wing damage. We are so lucky in this race. We've actually gone green now in terms of our fuel. So I didn't want to rush trying to go for the overtake in this race. I wanted to recover enough fuel and have a few laps in reserve at the end to really attack Lewis Hamilton, because I'm going to need rich mixture in order to get in front of him. And now we're just up in the tempo a little bit, running it in standard. I got a bad exit off of the final corner, so I backed it back down to lean. And just waiting now. We're trying to set up a position for ourselves to go for the overtake. The attempted move up the inside into the lows hairpin didn't work out. It lost us both a lot of track time and track position. So we won't be attempting that move again. We might have to do it again. This time into Raskas up the inside, and we get the move done. Yes, great move. P7. Next up is Max Verstappen, and the car in front of him is Kevin Magnussen. So we've cleared the Mercedes. We've cleared the fastest driver. Last lap of the Grand Prix now, and we've got two slower cars on old tyres just to negotiate now. Verstappen is going to be slow on a straight line ever so slightly. Maybe we can make advantage of that up the hill, but the distance to us two is too great. We're going to try and make it work, though. We're pushing on as ever. Really lost the back end there through the casino section, and we're right up Max Verstappen's tailpipe here. As we head into the lows hairpin, we go for the move, and we might have just executed it. There was a bit of contact as well on Verstappen's side. I think we squeezed him into the wall, but being the last lap, we've got to go for it. We want to go for glory and get inside the top 5, but we're going to see if we can get Kevin Magnussen. Sorry. I'm really losing it here on this last lap. Fireworks have gone off because Kimi Räikkönen, my teammate, has won the Grand Prix. Verstappen has front wing damage, but we're going to carry on and see if we can get Magnussen into the penultimate corner. Let's see. Fireworks are everywhere, trying to get distracted by those. Really nice exit through the final chicane, and we'll go for the dive into the Raskas corner. Didn't work out. race over. That was our last opportunity to go up the inside and get Magnussen. We made contact, lost our front wing, so I just called it off there, and that was it. I've hit my keyboard, and yeah, it's all just gone tits up here in the last 30 seconds of this Monaco Grand Prix.
A great win then for the Maranello team today. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here? And as we can see, it's time for the podium, and as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. Fantastic win for Ferrari.
Anthony Davidson's speechless. He's just dumbfounded at that move that I tried to attempt at the penultimate corner. But guys, that has been this video for today. Apologies about my driving the last, 2 laps. It wasn't a career mode race. It wasn't a race against real players. So I thought, let's go for glory, see what we can do, and unfortunately, didn't really work out there, only just finishing outside the top 10. But that's what a gameplay video around Monaco at night looks like, and I've got to say, it's pretty stunning. The garage effect, there's no lighting in there, I didn't show that, but it's pretty bad in there. But in terms of the spectacle of finishing the Grand Prix with the fireworks, that's amazing. That's a great touch. You don't see fireworks at the finish at Monaco normally, but at night they're fully on display and it looks absolutely incredible. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more F1 2017 videos. Being my first race on the game, achievements are going to start flowing in thick and fast. Also check out my career mode if you haven't already. And say subscribe to see setup videos, online stuff, league racing, the whole shebang. We've got lots of F1 2017 content coming over the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys next time.